Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to my numerology series where I'm talking about your life paths, which is your main number in numerology, just as is Scorpio, Pisces, Taurus are your main signs in astrology. So if you haven't figured out your life path yet, it's super easy. Watch my previous video on how to calculate your life path. And if you're 6 or you have loved ones that are 6, come on back here. So 6s are the name of the game today. So all the numbers, because we're talking about the reduced numbers, 1 through 9, and also the master numbers 11 and 22. When you reduce it to a single digit, they all fall into one of 3 groups. There's the mind numbers, which are 1, 5, and 7. There's the business numbers, which are 2, 4, and 8. And then there's the creative numbers, which are 3, 6, and 7. So 6 is a creative number. So not to say that the others aren't creative, but 3 and 6 and 9s are even more creative. So whenever you meet someone from your group, it's an automatic connection. You just get each other, okay? So 6s make the best perfectionists and the best judges, okay? So their life lessons and themes are responsibility, nurturing, and vision. They are the visionaries. So what does that mean? So 6s usually have way more responsibility than other numbers in this lifetime. So they have to accept that responsibility, be okay with it, and then just always be there to support others and to help others. And they have to learn how to discern between people that actually need their help and people that don't need their help, so they don't overextend their energy. They are nurturers. They are predisposed to be a parent. So whether that is to their children, to their pets, being a teacher and having, children that you teach, they are predisposed to being a parent out of all the other numbers, okay? 6s are meant to be parents. And they're the visionaries, okay? They are the ones on the cutting edge, and they, in their mind, because they're such perfectionists, they have, a clear vision of what the perfect world or the ideal world would look like. But once they can let go of those perfectionist standards, those super high standards, and they get to some kind of balance, then they have the most brilliant visions for the future that can really change the world and society. So some positive traits and attributes: they're very magnetic. They're very loyal, trustworthy. They can give too much. Very responsible, loving, sympathetic, artistic, and idealist. Very idealist. So some negatives. Now, not to say that not everyone is using all these positives, but they're there if they're on the positive side of their number, okay? If they're more on the negative side of the number, they're comparing themselves constantly to others, or comparing others constantly to themselves. It's always a comparison game, always. And that gets them into so much trouble and overthinking and depression and, anxiety and just a mess. They can be hypersensitive to criticism. They can make others feel very guilty. They can be very cold, opinionated, dominating, extremely critical because of their high standards, fussy, very exacting, judgmental, impatient, disappointed, and they can also stay in emotional denial. Okay, so some great careers for 6s, because they're such a nurturer, would be anything to do with teaching, teaching children, teaching animals, anything to do with shaping the lives of those that are not helpless, but, you could say children are more helpless than adults, obviously, and pets are helpless in general because, we're in charge of them. So guidance counselor would also be a great career. Anything to do with home or beautifying the home, beautifying anything, but mostly the home, because homes are the most important thing to a 6. They have to have a beautiful home. The home is everything to them, okay? So at their core being, they have these, mantras that they live by. They're always wanting to do the right thing and they're always wanting to be a good person. So everything that they do, they're thinking about that. Okay, if I do this, am I still a good person? Am I doing the right thing? And that, that can overplay in their head and drive them crazy, right? So they need to kind of let some of that go and not be so rigid and overanalyze everything that they do, because they're, it's all, should I do this? Should I do this? Will people think I'm a bad person if I do this? It's, they're so worried about what other people think. So it can get them in trouble and waste their energy and cause them, ailments and sadness and anxiety and all the mess. So when they get bored, sixes can get caught up in very petty things. So like I said, they need to make a family. So whether that's at home, whether that's in the community, whether that's at work, they always make a family wherever they are and spend a lot of their time. So one of the things you might have noticed about sixes or about yourselves, they're always saying if only. So they might watch a movie and say, the movie was great if only they had cast a different character or an actor. They might go out to dinner and be like, that dinner was good if only they had used a different sauce. It's always if only, like things aren't good enough. If only they had did something better, they would in their eyes be better. And that's because of their extremely high and outrageous ideals and standards. Sixes need to bring it back down to earth, and let go of their high standards. No one is perfect. No one is perfect. No thing, no place, no job, no person is perfect. So they need to, part of their life's lesson is accepting that everything is perfectly imperfect. And everything is perfectly imperfect in the moment as well. So once they grasp that and live by it, their life can transform. Okay? They have a heightened sense of smell usually. When six is unhappy, ain't nobody happy. Okay? That's how powerful their energy is. So they always want to do their job and want to do everyone else's job because they don't trust that anyone else can do the job. So they need to let that go, trust others that they can also get the job done. So beside discerning between who in their life actually needs their help and support and who doesn't, they also need to discern between helping and then going to the other extreme, interfering in people's lives. They want to be in charge, they think they know what is best, so they need to discern between the two extremes and find, a happy balance. Again, with all these numbers and all of us, it's all about finding that balance. They need to learn to appreciate the here and now and not think about some utopian future, that's like perfect. It's like right now is perfect, and think about the ways that right now is perfect, right? And be grateful for what you have. Yeah, so to reiterate, sixes usually have way more responsibility than other numbers, and they need to accept that responsibility and be okay with it, and be in harmony with it, but also, and be there for people, their friends, their relatives, their family. That's who they help and support. So they need to be there way more than others would think, but, in that responsibility, they can have peace and happiness, but they're going to have way more responsibility than others in this lifetime. Nurturing others, they're there again to help and support and nurture others, especially children, okay, especially children. And once they can let go of their extremely critical and high ideals, they can be the most phenomenal visionaries out there, because they have such a strong vision of what they think is the ideal, perfect scenario, person, thing, world. And it can help us once they, bring it down, bring it back to earth, and, work on it from a humble humble arena. So, hope that made sense. Sixes. I have a lot of best friends that are sixes. I love you, sixes. So, yeah, if you guys have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Thanks so much for watching. I will be doing all the numbers, so look forward to 7, 8, 9, 11, and 22, the 2 master numbers. So I appreciate all your support. Subscribe if you haven't, and I look forward to talking to you soon. Toodles!